Hello, my name's Scott McCracken. I'm Professor of 20th Century Literature at Queen Mary, University of London. And I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about our Masters in English Literature. I'm going to start with talking a little bit about what an MA actually is, then why you might do an MA, then what we offer here at Queen Mary, and finally, how you apply, and a little bit about the funding options that you have. The department at Queen Mary is research intensive. It's you can see here many of the books that we've published, but we're also really enthusiastic teachers, and we're very keen to share our expertise with you. So what's an MA? Well, an MA is a postgraduate university program, meaning it's a postgraduate program means that you do it after you've done your undergraduate program. You usually specialize in a particular subject area, in this case, the area of English literature, and it will build on your undergraduate studies. It usually lasts for 1 or 2 years. Our particular MA is 1 year full-time and 2 years part-time. So compared with an undergraduate degree, it's more focused, it's more intensive, but it's also more fun. So why do a master's? First of all, to gain extra expertise. Second, and perhaps most importantly, personal growth. I don't really think there's any point in doing a master's unless you really want to do that master's. And of course, if you do your master's in an area that you want to do it in, then you're going to get better marks. You can also do it as preparation for a PhD, but that's by no means essential. And finally, it gives you transferable careers skills. Masters will increase your earning potential. As I've said, the most important reason is to do it is because you want to do it, but don't underestimate the degree to which employers are looking for the kinds of skills that a master's in English can give you, particularly skills around communication, writing, and criticism. Queen Mary's a good place to do a master's because there's such a lot going on. We have our own library on our East End campus. You also have access to the University of London Senate House Library, one of the best collections in the world. We have a very inclusive and diverse environment. We have friendly expert staff. We have partnerships with magazines like Wasafiri, which is a global literary magazine. There'll be seminars, research events, good support for you, and importantly, help you with your careers and next steps. A few quick stats. You would expect to be in a class size of no more than 20 and probably between 12 and 15. Ideally, we'd like you to have the UK equivalent of a 2-1, but that will be a 2-2 minimum, and we'll certainly look at your application in detail and take everything into account. And you will finish the programme with a 15,000 word dissertation. You'll have plenty of places to work. Senate House Library, the Mile End Library, and of course the British Library is also nearby. You'll be in class for roughly 2 days a week if you're full-time, leaving you plenty of time for independent study, which is a large part of the Masters. Funding. If you're a British citizen, you're eligible for UK government master's loan funding, which is currently up to £12,471. We also have various bursaries and stipends and fees, bursaries and stipends, including stipends aimed at UK Black and global majority students, which is up to the stipend is up to £18,062. Also suggest you click on this link to the QMUL funding directory, look at the UK Postgraduate Funding Guide, also the Alternative Funding Guide, and our list of international country contacts. So what do we offer? We offer an MA in English Literature, full-time and part-time, and we also have an MA in Creative Writing, also full-time and part-time, but that's a separate presentation, and you can also view that presentation. In the MA, we explore a wide range of themes and subjects, and we also consider fundamental questions about the nature of literature. You will get to select and study core modules from across a broad span of literature and from a variety of historic periods. You can then choose your elective modules from a range offered by the Department of English, and you can take various pathways through the Masters. So these are some typical indicative modules. Post-colonial, global Shakespeare, international romanticism, queer now, which is about queer literature and theory, Victorian voices, and curating London. So if you don't get exactly these modules, you will get modules that are cognate with them, very similar. And then, of course, you end with the dissertation. But we also offer routes through the degree. It may be that when you did undergraduate English, or undergraduate history or another cognate discipline, you were particularly interested in a period. So, for example, you can follow modules from the 18th and 19th century, such as international romanticism and Victorian voices, or Victorian print culture, writing the East End. Or you can follow a route that is the modern and the contemporary, that is roughly 1900 to now. These include queer theory and contemporary fiction, psychoanalysis and modern culture, writing, and the present. Or you might like to take a route that goes into post-colonial and world literature. And you can also do that, including modules called Post-Colonial to Global, which is a sort of general survey module, Global Shakespeare, or Reading the Middle East. Finally, you can take a theoretical route that looks at modules like Queer Now, which I've already mentioned, text, media and theory, and psychoanalysis and modern culture. Or you can take a route that focuses on London, with modules such as Curating London and Writing the East End. The teaching structure. This is a full-time teaching structure. If you're doing a full-time master's, you'll select 2 modules in the first semester from a range of historical periods. Similarly, in the second semester, you'll select 2 more modules from a range of electives. Finally, in the exam term and summer, you'll complete a 15,000-word dissertation. However, you'll be thinking about your dissertation from the very beginning of the Masters, and there'll be workshops, and then meetings with your supervisor throughout the year. This is the 18th and 19th century route, where you'll be working with our experts from across the department, exploring the transformation of English literature across a 200-year period, from roughly 1700 to 1900. You look at literary innovation, experiment, alongside developments in philosophy, politics, science, and commerce. Modern and contemporary route. Explore literature and literary movements from the 20th and the 21st century, including ideas of modernism, postmodernism, and looking at contemporary literature. You read texts in relation to ideas about the historical present and the changing cultural context of literary writing, looking especially at questions of technology, innovation, and social, political, and economic change that bring into category the question of literary writing itself. You can also look at our post-colonial literature's roots, explore world, global and post-colonial literatures, studying a range of writing from Africa, South Asia, the Middle East, the Caribbean, Australasia, and Britain itself, responding to challenges of colonialism, decolonisation, nationalism, neocolonialism, and neoliberalism in both the 20th century and the contemporary period. So that's it. There are a lot of MAs available, a lot of MAs in English literature available. And I'm going to suggest that you look at a range of universities and a range of programs. But then I suggest you come back to us, because I think you'll see, after looking at everybody else, that we have a lot to offer. I look forward to answering your questions. If you'd like to email me or attend one of our open days, I'd be delighted to speak to you. Thank you very much.